esteemed guests, please give a huge round of applause for the industry leaders from PwC. Mr. Sanjeev Parker, Senior Director, PwC India. Mr. Yogesh Shah, Associate Director, PwC. Accompanied by Professor Dr. Nilesh Arora, Senior Director, University School of Business and Global School of Finance and Accounting. We are delighted with your presence, sir. Powerful stories. Stories that shape businesses. Today's highly anticipated session, Leading the Future of Finance, a Career Blueprint, featuring our collaborated industry leaders from one of the world's most prestigious firms, PwC. PwC is a leading member of Big Four accounting firms operating across 151 countries, excelling in assurance, tax and advisory services. Once again, kindly join me to acknowledge the presence of our very dear and esteemed guests, Mr. Sanjeev Parker, Senior Director, PwC India, and Mr. Yogesh Shah, Associate Director, PwC. We are also honored to have with us Professor Dr. Nilesh Arora, Senior Director, University School of Business and Global School of Finance and Accounting, and Head of the Departments. It's an absolute pleasure and we are elated with your presence to our esteemed guests.
Good morning, dear students. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Great. So I think it seems indeed a great pleasure and honor for me standing here to welcome the very own family, you can say, PwC team here to look forward a great career in finance. And I believe today's session is going to be very, I would say, strong learning for all of us who are aspiring to be into finance domain. And even if those who are not aspiring to be
software IT companies, market research, consulting, right, with PwC. Hundreds and thousands of people I have recruited so far. So I wanted to share my learnings in next 10 minutes or so. What attributes, because these are typical questions people ask me. What attributes that you look at when you are hiring people, right? I hope some of you have that questions. So we are in the world of consulting today. Right? A lot of you don't know what PwC is all about. I told you about the number of people that we have and what kind of profiles that we have. Number one, what we do is we are auditors. You understand? You heard about this word auditor? Auditing? Yes. Okay. So auditing, this means we will audit the records of organizations. If our entire business or our organization setup works on trust, what is the first thing that we look at in a candidate? Trustworthiness. What else? Honesty.
Confidence.
Loyalty. So that is about environment. What about governance? Everyone is looking at governance very carefully. It's government plus corporate governance. Okay? How well are you able to function with your companies? Investors will never put a single penny unless your governance is in place. Right? Third part is taxes. We all know that taxes is definitely part of finance. Okay? Your next question could be, MBA finance we don't want to become chartered accountants. Right? What have taxes got to do with the business? Likewise, there are trade wars happening between the countries. You have heard about it, right? US, China, US, other countries, right? There are so many trade wars happening. The biggest war that is happening in the future is revenue war. How does government get revenue? Taxes, right? So international taxes, the big area. If there is a transaction happening between two companies in two different countries, this country, India will say, "ये हमारा revenue है, That other country will say हमारा revenue है. So there will be lot of conflicts there. Thirdly, look at things like GST, right? There are organizations, as I am not an expert as you know, but Yogesh tells me, there are some industry who work on very thin profit margin, including some mobile company, which is 3% profit पे काम कर रहे हैं. Just imagine, GST rate goes up from say 12% to 18%. What happens to their profits? Profits say loss, correct? Why? Is because regulatory affairs have got something to do with your business. Not today, it could be tomorrow. So tomorrow government says this for a particular business, the pharmaceutical, we're going to increase taxes. What happens? Right? So all these are relevant points. So I made a point about ESG. I made a point about trust. Thirdly, I spoke about taxes. Right? The fourth point I have to make was about some attributes that we look at when you are getting client servicing professionals. What are client servicing professionals? They are the people who serve. They are client servicing are the people who serve clients. So we don't advise people on avoid taxes. We don't do that. We will help you with tax planning. कि आपको tax planning कैसे करना है. That's it. But the second thing, earlier accountants or MBA finance, they used to join what industries? Banking, NBFC, कहाँ जाते थे? PSUs, that is where we used to get the jobs. Now look at the number of jobs that are getting created. I've heard about city centers, and I will tell you what it is. Very important. जैसे आप first कीजिए Google, okay, or any other fintech company, Paytm, whatever. Now those companies, they cannot run their businesses across the globe with that kind of manpower. They want to look at the country where salaries are manageable, right? Now if US, UK, Europe, if they have to look at the country where you got a knowledgeable resources and lesser salary as compared to their country, what country comes to their mind? India? ठीक है? Work. How financial systems work. So that's a big application of your finance learning at the floor. Okay. And NBFC we already spoke. We know the options in banking, etc. So I'm very happy that you have chosen finance as a subject. And we all made our long careers here. If you have any specific questions for me, you can ask me now, you can ask me later. I just wanted to show you one video of PwC Academy. PwC Academy is that arm of PwC that works only on skilling programs, right? And only one university, as I said, we work with is Chandigarh University. So can you show that video? The time when you are only finance, only supply chain management, only FMCG sector, etc. Okay. Then you had marketing and other areas. Then we had technologies. Now today, when clients come to us or any person, they are looking at a solution to their business problem. Now the business problem is not exactly a tax issue, it is not exactly a finance issue, it is not exactly a technology issue, it's a business issue. For example, let me give you an example. If the client says, during COVID times, we are finding it very, very difficult to run the business. Okay. Can there be a business problem? Answer is yes. The problem is sectoral. For example, shipping will have different problem, NBFCs will have different problems, and FMCG will have different problems, manufacturing will have different problems. So all the business problems. So when you work with consulting, there is a huge change in your career. You need to think differently, right? People feel that big fours are like taxing careers. बहुत लंबा काम करना पड़ता है. Answer is yes and no both, right? You're always driven by what client is saying. Client has a problem, it needs to be solved at the earliest. We all put our heads together and work towards it, right? So second important competency we have is lead in people in teamwork. We do not need anybody who's taller than the organization because we all need to work together. So that's a lesson number 2 for you all. Whenever you appear for your campus interviews, etc., etc., ensure this. When you get into any organization, we're looking at a person who's a team player. आप भले ही आप बहुत top हो, you know so much about your business, but if you're not a team player, nobody will going to hire you. Third part is communication. This is a very important part, I must say. I had been on selection panels of up to partner levels, right? And one thing that we look at is communication skills. And when it's a communication skills, it's not an accent. People try to neutralize their mother tongue influence, right? Well, some of you will have Punjabi accent, I will have Maharashtrian accent, he will have Gujarati accent. I don't think that anybody minds accents, etc. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. Don't worry. You don't have to rework on it. What you need to rework on is comprehend a question and give a crisp answer. Don't give long-winding answer. And that is what we look at when we hire people. उसको question पूछा है कि what do you want to become? Now it's a very vague question, right? What do you want to become in the next 5 years? Purposely this is asked. We want to see your ability to give a crisp and focused answer in limited times. Right? Or it's like, what is good about Chandigarh? तो 2 दिन आप बात कर सकते हो, right? But I give you 2 minutes to speak about it. How do you focus your conversation? कितने कम words में you are able to give substance? This is something which is very key. Most people who are knocked out in campus rounds is also because of this reason. Because you are unable to speak, and if you speak, you give very long-winding answers. Okay? So be very clear. Rehearse it. Now you have got 2 years ahead of you. So, as an older professional, here is the suggestion: learn technology that is relevant to you. Secondly, work on your communication skill. Okay. How do you give answers in bullet points? Thirdly, very important is learn the external factors that will affect your domain. I gave you reasons, right? Public policies, global happenings, global acumen होना बहुत जरूरी है. You should know what is happening in the US. अगर China doesn't give us rare earth metal, how it impacts semiconductor industry, etc. All of that, right? So पढ़ा करो. When I ask these questions to students, what do you read? What do people tell me? मैं CA journal पढ़ता हूँ. I look at something like supply chain management, ये सब चीजें. और बाकी सब मोबाइल पे आती है. But I got जैसे MEND, whatever, business standard, economic, जो भी हुआ. At least every day you'll learn some 4-5 things. Now if you look at 2 years hence, you would have put together some 200 things that you know. वो कैंपस के पहले everyone studies, right? इंटरव्यू के पहले बहुत पढ़ के आते हैं. They look at their website. But you will not have a rounded opinion about anything. ये 2 साल अगर आपने पढ़ा, every day invest at least 10 minutes reading business news, etc. Because you are MBA professional. Do I make sense on here? Hello? यही आप ठीक कर रहे हो, हाय और हेलो ही बोल रहे हो. So skills that are relevant today, if you can read it, all leadership, business acumen, technical acumen, वो तो आपको होना ही है. आपका जो भी whatever business that you are in, you need to have technical foundation. What is happening in Southeast? All those things will matter a lot. Interview जाने के पहले, you need to do study of their website. You know the best opportunity that you get to get selected in any campus, एक question होता है. I'll tell you what is the question. In the end, employer, prospective employer will ask you a question. क्या पूछते हैं? Do you have any questions for me? Now, if that question, if you are able to manage very well, you are done. Are you getting what I'm saying? If, say for example, XYZ organization that is an insurance, they are interviewing you, and they say, do you have any questions? So what are the questions people ask? People say things like, "मेरे साथ तनख्वाह कितनी होगी? What will I become in 3 years time, etc." Don't do that. Ask question about their business, their growth story. That differentiate the best candidate from others. Do some research. अगर मुझे एक question पूछना है इनको, if I'm saying that your insurance sector is growing at 12%, right? What are the opportunities that you see? I just made up that question. Okay? So similar question if you ask, you stand better chances. For that, you need to be very well read, and you should know what questions to ask. You can take help of your faculties or the network around you. Make sense?
Right. I hope I have done some value addition in the last 1.5 hours. And obviously, anytime you have any issue,
Saying hi, hello to me 4 times, and contributing on and off. We have put all of this into the program that we are running for CU. Just say we teach. People who teach here are actually client servicing professionals who have all of that. They are minimum chartered accountants or MBA from IIMs, etc. with minimum of 8 to 10 years of experience. उन्होंने client servicing ही किया है. If somebody who teaches tax, okay, he has been the person who would have advised lot of industries on taxes. So they will come up with case studies. They will ask you to apply those learnings on the case studies. It's a big learning. That's how it is called as applied finance. It is not a finance program. Applied finance. कहाँ आप करोगे? Okay? Or you have some analytical mind. How do you apply on that? There are various topics. Yogesh sir will talk more about it. He's a chartered accountant and a law professional. Both these put together. He has done client servicing for a very large group, including Arvind Mills and so on and so forth. Okay, and he has been a trainer all through. That's his competency. He does both. Okay, so this is our second year of this program, where we will be running this.
Not just the session but the program as well. And I think sir has very aptly introduced Mr. Yogesh Shah. We have him with us, and without taking further time and without any further ado, I invite sir on the dais for the expert talk on the topic. I request the dignitaries to kindly be seated on the sofa. Thank you.
hello. Good evening. Good evening. Morning, evening, afternoon. How are you? Fine. How is the morning? Something. Right. I hope I have done some value addition in the last 1.5 hours. And obviously, anytime you have any issue, it affects finance in a lot of ways. If you remember, I gave an example that budgeting and forecasting, now we have started using AI, started using automation to deliver those work. Same way, a lot of financial planning and analysis work has started. If you can go a few slides back. Stop. Can you see this? This is what
Afraid of the numbers. Sir, please have a seat. As we wrap up today, for giving us the opportunity here.